Hey, Holy Spirit, this is Father Brian coming to you with another one of our interviews. This time we are interviewing Connor and Caroline, who have been a part of our church for several years. And we're talking about small groups. Our small group term starts in just a few weeks, the week after September 11th. So I wanted to sit down via Zoom to talk to Connor and Caroline about their experience. Well, we didn't talk about this, but when did you guys join the church? How long have you been part of Holy Spirit?
Um, so it would have been sometime maybe March or April 2017.
Oh, cool.
So it's been 5.5-ish years at this point.
Great.
For
We
Connor,
should
I
give
came
like,
in 2018.
Yeah, Carolyn would be 4 years.
okay. No. I was gonna say we should give like year awards, like you get to 5 years. Maybe that's when we get the mugs. So it's not always a sad thing that somebody is leaving. Um, my kids weep when they see me bringing out one of those mugs, like somebody's leaving. Okay. So you've both been a part of our small group ministry for a while. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience of how you got involved in it and the different groups that you've been a part of at Holy
Yeah.
Spirit?
So I think actually the first time I visited Holy Spirit, um, maybe there was a push for small groups going on at that time, but I got an invite right out the gate, and it was Adam D. Lazansky who actually did the inviting, and so I attended that small group starting pretty early on. Back when I was new to San Diego, and before Caroline had moved down. So really, that was at that point I was working, I was going to church and going to small group, and for me that was I think a pretty important part of starting to find a home and a feeling of community in
Hmm.
San Diego and in Holy Spirit. And then uh, from there we attended a few different small groups with different groups of people. Often with the Dulazanskis. And then more recently, we've been hosting a small group at our home, um, and got to enjoy hosting with a newborn baby, which is what allowed us to actually continue to attend small group, is having them come to us. And got to enjoy partnering with another couple, the Weinzappels, to actually um, I guess run the small group or
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
about sums it up.
yeah. I think a lot of people have shared that of just it's been a key part of getting to know people in the church. I mean, as you talked about, Connor, of new to the area, new to the church, and just that ability to find community. And something that we were talking about we had our vestry and leadership camp a couple weeks ago that a lot of people coming out of I don't know how to describe whatever we're doing with COVID right now. Things are different than they were when we couldn't leave our house. But there's a lot of isolation and a lot of
mm-hmm.
sort of loss of connection, and that we need it. And there is a hunger for really having not, I guess, something deeper, some real community, and that small groups can be a place where that happens in the church. So from your experience of small groups the last several years at Holy Spirit, what do you think you appreciate most about what small groups have sort of formed in you or offered to you or from your experience of small groups, what have you appreciated most?
I can take that one. So, picking up where Connor left off, because both of us are not San Diego natives, and in particular for me, I work remotely. And when I came, I didn't really know anybody except for the people I met at church and in particular through small group. It was really sort of central source of like community and connection. I've always really appreciated the strong emphasis on prayer as well. A
Hmm.
place to sort of bring the things that are heavy on our hearts and being able to talk about them and like get prayer for them. It helps. I don't know. It makes a really big difference, and it's really nice to have that. Of course, the studies have been really great as well, but I would definitely say the sense of community and being able to build those relationships and having that to look forward to every week as a sort of high of the week often.
Yeah, I think small groups also is a little bit of a stake in the ground. Like if you make the commitment to be committed, like, and maybe take a little bit of the decision away from it mentally, it's kind of a great way to reset and reorient kind of your mind and your thinking. Usually our small groups that we've attended have been kind of in the middle, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week. So I think, as the week gets going and you're busy and you're thinking about, all the things that life has going on, oftentimes it's a great opportunity for kind of that mental reset.
Yeah.
If I could put a plug in for hosting small groups, I think as new parents, like honestly, I like even if childcare wasn't an issue, we were so tired and busy that like we would have probably not gone to small group if it hadn't been at our house. And I think that was really great to have people coming to us because that made it possible for us to be a part of community even when we're like very tired. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a really big blessing, and yeah, just really appreciated the Wine Falls and everybody else who attended. It was just really nice for us to have that. Like the community came to us because we did not have the bandwidth to go to the community all the time.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. Oh, and Connor, I really like that image of that stake in the ground that isn't just like, because building up any habit, going to the gym, whatever, but spiritual discipline, spiritual habits as well. It takes work and but part of what making it successful is what you've done is sort of taking the thinking out of it. Like, no, this is something that it's already set. And so I'm going to be in it, and that the importance of it, um, we experience worship on Sunday, but then we can fragment as soon as we hit the normal work week and forget who we are in the Lord. And so to have a midweek place where you're gathering with people, and Caroline, from your image of like we were tired, but still great things could happen. Like it's not like you have to show up and perform at small group. But I think the best of that you can be yourself and you can really experience the gospel where you're not alone. That there's somebody else who's there who's ready to pray with you and either encourage you or just say, yeah, I'm going through that too, or I've gone through that, or whatever. Yeah, I think there's a richness here. Even I asked you for the thing you most appreciated, and it's like we couldn't narrow it down. There's just so much that's there. That's been my experience too. So we're really hoping that ideally everybody in the church is connected to a small group. We understand that people have stuff going on, and but for us to really be formed, to be a family, to be a light in a dark world, that it's important that we're connecting together midweek. We continue to be formed. So what would you guys say to somebody who's maybe on the fence, who's thinking about, should I be involved in a small group? Should I not? What's something, an encouragement that you think can help them make that choice to be a part of a small group?
Well, first off, I would say, attending once is not a lifelong commitment. There's no reason you can't come check one out. No one's going to hold you to that for the rest of your life. But also, I would say, kind of echoing, the last question, is that there is much that is good that can come out of attending small groups. And if we believe and agree with this idea that the Christian life is one that is shared and is best lived out in community, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Then this is a great opportunity to sort of live out that thing that we mentally and spiritually agree with.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
Caroline, did you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna add to that. If you're debating, you should. And if you're a new person and not knowing people is kind of a hard thing to think about. Like this is people are going to be very welcoming. That's the nature of the small groups. We've always had different people, and it's always come together as a really tight knit community. Yeah, and echoing what Connor said, a commitment. Don't think of it necessarily as a commitment, as a taking it week by week, and hopefully it'll become a thing that you do really look forward to, and you get a lot out of, and can contribute to as well. So
yeah, well, thank you. That's a very gracious and yet beautiful invitation that you guys have given. So thanks for your time. Again, small groups will be kicking off September 11th. We'll have the schedule of the small groups published here in the next few Sundays. But if you have any questions about what it's like to be a part of a small group or about our philosophy of small groups, you can talk to me, or you can talk to Connor and Caroline, or many other people in the church. But thanks, guys, for being a part of our interview.
Thanks.
All right.